There are just so many things to tell you about. Okay, so the ground, the cold air, the really, really deep, deep cold air, it's falling, right? Cold air falls, warm air rises, and so in the winter, the cold air is so cold that it's falling so fast that it pushes the frost in the ground and freezes deeper and deeper.
I think you heard pseudoscience there, Nancy.
Okay, well that's pseudoscience from Nancy. Aren't you glad you're listening? Okay, so actually I heard them talk about it on the radio, that's kind of what happens. It's like a truck. And when the warm air of up above is no longer pushing, it's no longer the cold, there's no more cold air that's falling and coming, you know, it's warm. And so, but the truck is still driving deeper. And so even when the temperature warms up, it doesn't thaw the ground as quickly as you would think, because it's driven so far in, and then it has to slow down, and then it has to warm up. I don't know how it happens. Maybe the warm air gets in there and dissipates. I know there are people out there in the world that know more than me, and I'm hoping one of them can point me in the right direction. Anyway, you know, when I write in my journal, I always have to dictate, and so I put in the punctuation. And so when I'm making a video now, I want to put in a comma. I noticed that. Look at this beautiful area. And we're getting so steamed up in here. Oh, I see. This is an open element. Okay. Now, what was I telling you about? Oh, yes, about gardening. I never got that far, did I? Okay, so in Canada, when the ground thaws enough that you can work it, that's the time to get your early seeds in, like peas and your spinach and lettuce and anything that likes cold weather. Not squash or anything that's susceptible to the cold, but all the other things that can endure a bit of cold, that's the ones to put in. So we have this window of opportunity because around the moat, you know, you've seen that, you know, the moat road and all these things. I don't know what people know, and if they just jump in the middle and see one video, if they really have any clue what's going on. Anyway, I don't usually. Well, I guess I do. Look at that nice rock. That one place where it went like this was really smooth. Anyway, so yesterday I went down, and all around the moat is the crater, right? It's the crater's edge, like a dish. And that's because of them digging the trench to create the road. They had to move the black soil to make the road. So a black soil is all on the edge in a nice heap, all around the edge. So yesterday I went down there, and I have been off gluten now for a week, maybe? Not quite. I think I went to the doctor on Monday. What day did I go? Anyway, so I've been off gluten since then, because he said that these needles he's given me aren't going to work as long as I am have gluten. I mean, because he's given me so many sessions of them, and they haven't really worked. Therefore, it's the gluten. So I've been off gluten, so I was feeling pretty good. Am I giving too much detail here? I have a friend that gives tons of detail. It drives me nuts. So, what was I saying? So interesting to look out there at all the rock faces and the water, and it's so much more interesting to look at it all than to talk about something that's totally unrelated to what I'm looking at. See those juniper bushes, how they're flat against the... Okay, so the slope is like that all the way around the moat. So I raked the top because it's very bumpy on the top. And so I raked the top and smoothed it so that there's like a walkway along the top of the whole ridge, all the way around. That's my goal. So in doing that, I got about a quarter of the way around. So this quarter was it was thawed enough on top that I could level most of it. Now there were some areas where it was still frozen, so you'd have this like a huge rock, but it was ice. So I just scraped the dirt off as much as I could and left it. And throughout the time I was there, the sun came out. No, the sun doesn't come out, but the temperature warmed just slightly. It was 3 degrees above freezing or 2 degrees above freezing, something silly. And it warmed it up enough that I could level it, which was so cool, because if it were flat, like the ground down there is rock solid. It is frozen solid. But on the south-facing slope, where it's a heat trap, because the heat can't get out of the crater, the island is now a crater. The meteor, Nancy, today hit it. Anyway, so then, after I had pulled it down from the top, I went halfway down the slope. Like, it was a pretty deep, big slope, so I went halfway down, and I made another, and I raked that and got the clumps of grass out. You see, there's big, huge clumps of grass in it because there was grass in the black soil. I tried to get him to take it off, like the very top first, and put all the grass in one area, and then the rest along the edge there. That was the goal, but he didn't always get it right. There would be both in it, and they would be flopping, or this grass thing would flop around as he would lift the thing and dump it. And so the grass thing would be in there somewhere, partly sticking out or something impossible, right? So it would pretty well preserve it for a very long time. So, and it would grow and take over. But anyway, then Willem came down and he went back and he brought along a bag of potatoes and a knife, and he went, and so I had this whole area. The slope was all, I raked it, and I'm not one that goes in for turning the whole soil, and I'll tell you why. There's a layer of, it's a fungus, mycelium, I think it is, and according to Suzanne, somebody or other, all the trees are connected and they deliver nutrients to their offspring, wherever they may be, the seeds that blew. And this mycelium layer is a really important place. And if you disturb the soil, of course you wreck that. But if you turn it all over, I don't know, I just like to leave it the way it is. So, because you don't want subsoil up in there, but subsoil is so far below the surface here, like 2 feet below it. In Georgia, it was the soil. That's all you had was the subsoil that was rock, and you had to scrape at it like you were chipping bricks to create soil. It was amazing. Couldn't believe it. I'm so glad I chose to go to Canada. Anyway, I didn't really choose to go. I was kind of led. Anyway, hold on. I have to drink some water. Talk amongst yourselves for a moment. Here, Willem, leave it alone. It's okay. You just drive. Oh, down they go. It's Pollyanna Dolly with 6. There. And I called for the doctor to come quick. Okay, so